Hello, Capricorn. My name is Kristen Simone Hansen, and welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi, Capricorn. I am Kristen, and I am a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of the energy for September to the end of the year and how it affects you and your Capricorn placements. If at any point in this video you feel connected to me and would like to join my client circle, you can do so by joining this link here and also in the bio. I welcome you. And last but not least, you guys know I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So if you have not already, let me know where you're listening from in the comments and we can all connect and be a strong collective. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. All right. So we're going to start right into September. So while I shuffle, I'm going to break down some astrology. So while I shuffle, I'm going to break down some intuitive messages for you guys because it's going to be a little bit of a process for me to get all these cards down. So in terms of what's going on for the remainder of the year, beginning in September, number one, we start September with the Capricorn retrograde. And as we begin it with the Capricorn retrograde, it's for you, it's a big deal in terms of like, say hello to September, say hello to a new era, and say hello to a new version of yourself. It's kind of scary to think about Pluto going retrograde back into your sign because Pluto being in your sign caused so much for you. But actually this time around, it's a very different energy. And I've talked about that in other videos. September. Yes. And I've talked about that in other videos. And so what's interesting is as you introduce this energy as September begins, you will find yourself feeling very empowered and very passionate about changing your life. So it's not to say you haven't been putting in work to change your life and do what it is that you want. But this energy at this time, it's almost like you're leaving August in a much better place. As I've mentioned before, August started kind of foggy, but you end August in a much better energy. Things that you have been wanting for a long time, your manifestations, your desires, come to find you nearing the end of the month, right? So you walk into September in a much better headspace and with much more enthusiasm. In general, when Virgo season comes, wow, we've got the sun here at the bottom of the deck. When Virgo season comes to find you, you're in a headspace of almost like it's like as if the moment in itself will feel like a breath of fresh air. The moment we step into your sister sign, things will feel very different for you. Like the energy will go through a big shift. And that carries you into September. And September is just going to be a very nice time for you. And it is all about change. You're going to be focused on how you can change, how you can do more, experience more, and really getting that passion, especially because of August showing you that you can in fact get what you want and what you've been kind of craving to manifest actually can find you. And with that confirmation being given to you before August ends, it gives you a lot of passion and enthusiasm to actually create more for yourself as the year ends. And that's what's good about this energy. This Pluto return for you is not as scary as you initially might think that it is or is going to be. And that's what's very nice. So as we go into October, that energy kind of grounds itself a little bit more. Remember, we're still in a Pisces Saturn retrograde. So this is when we step into Libra season, which is saying, okay, all of the work that I've been putting in tied to the goals that I have, the kind of person I want to be, how I want to finish my year, you know, especially for you guys who are entrepreneurs, you could find yourself kind of making plans for how to really progress during the holiday season, different things like that during September. And October sees you in a headspace where you're more just, again, get a little bit more grounded in really wanting to show the world what you've created. When we step into Libra season with your 10th house activation, you really want to show the world who it is that you are. Getting much more shiny, much more kind of in the faces of other people. Some of you can find yourselves showing this energy off in a way that is a little boisterous during that time period, because you've worked hard. You've worked hard and you've had to do a lot, especially for those of you who are entering new relationships. You can really want to show the world your happiness and your joy and not hide it, right? In ways that maybe in the past you used to. I apologize, because this dress is very flexible, so it is moving all about. But yeah, so this is a part of the thing that can find you during that time period. Another thing as well is when we end October, beginning into Scorpio season. This is when you're going to want to, per usual, socialize more, get more connected to other people. But this is in a way that finishes off your Pluto return, because this is when Pluto does its final Capricorn dance for your entire lifetime, as long as you'll be alive. And so it's Scorpio season is what brings that end in natural fashion, as Scorpio is the leader of transformation. And that is your biggest focus at that time, especially tied to your social connections, your social relationships. You're a new person and you're much more confident in who it is that you are. And you really want to show that off when we enter into Scorpio season and end the Pluto return, really being a dominant in your social dynamics in a way that you were not before. And then we see this going into December. December is your season. And for a lot of you, it's going to feel very lighthearted. But that's kind of my intuitive message. I didn't want to dive too deeply because it is a lot of information and I don't want this video to be so long. So we're going to begin in terms of the reading now. So let's start with what we can see happening for September. Okay, so the energy for September, I'm liking it. Lots of nurturing, so no surprises here. We've got the Queen of Cups energy, and this is showing up with passion. And in your shadow, it's the Six of Pentacles. Listening for the truth, and so I will show you all of these. And Cephai is here in terms of what you need to know for your healing point. So we'll begin with the healing point first in terms of this energy, which is an air energy. Okay. And in this case, practice there it is. Practice connecting to the joy that is always deep within you. Pay attention to what brings you exquisite delight. If you do not know what that is, you are guided to experiment and explore. Connecting to the joyful capacity of your heart will heal so much negativity and uncertainty. Let your heart relax. Allow the spiritual grace that wishes to reorder your life to manifest its miraculous magic. So what I was saying about this energy, and this is here with advice, is listen for the truth. The biggest thing for September is about you guys understanding the truth of how beautiful your life can actually be. And that's why it feels so good to experience, right? To see it and witness it in front of us, because you've been through a lot. And this year has shown you the potentiality of light, the potentiality of bliss, but it showed you it in a way that took time. Right? You've had to go through a lot of situations and dynamics, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of I guess change, a lot of change, a lot of release, a lot of having to let go. Our last reading was a 6-month reading from January to June, and it was all about understanding the 10 of Cups energy. And, when we looked at that reading, it was making it very clear that there would be storms to face, but those storms were there to get you to understand the value of just happiness, of just what does it mean to not actually chase pentacles, but to chase cups, to be in a space that is more receptive to genuine joy. I didn't even notice. I'm not looking at the camera. Hi. But to be in a space of genuine joy. And, here we are, and this is obviously September to December. In this energy, we didn't do the overarching yet, although, like I said, we see the sun, okay, and the Eight of Wands. So we didn't talk about the overarching energy, but the overarching energy is right here in front of us, which is the Eight of Wands with the sun, which is passionate, powerful, progressive energy. And this is, again, very light, very happy in that sense. We're going to go into these. But when we go back to the September energy, you're going to have to really understand where your life is better than you think that it is. Okay? So this sounds very simple, but it's actually not, especially if you guys have been struggling with pessimism, anxiety, darkness in the mind, pain, grief. It can be very difficult to put yourself in the headspace where you could even begin to understand what does it mean to be happier and to have a more blissful energy in comparison to what it is that you may have been dealing with before. So at this point, it's all about connecting with the things that make you happy, especially for those of you who are in romantic relationships. This is a very good time to celebrate and connect with another person who is there to light you up inside. Because your biggest shadow here when it comes to September is the fear that you will not get an equal give and take. You're scared that what it is that you give out, what is it that you want, will not find you. That it will not be there to give you what it is that you need and say, the happiness that you're giving out, the energy that you have been giving out is not going to come back to you. But you have to open your ears in terms of understanding that there are people here to nurture you. It's all about being the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups for you, it's not about how you nurture others, but it's now people nurturing you. Passion, equal give and take, chemistry. Finally being in the headspace where you have the kind of partnerships and connections where individuals are giving to you just as much as you've given to them. That's a part of the reason why in your shadow, when I talk about it, I don't want it to say that it's the thing that's going to always be challenging. Your shadow is what is your personal anxiety, okay? What is sitting in your dark space. And in your dark space is this fear of, again, not getting an equal give and take. But here we see that it is right in front of you. Connecting to the joyful energy within your own heart. This is all about self-celebration. But you have to open yourself to understanding where the nurturing is. In order to be the Queen of Cups, you have to allow yourself to be nurtured by others. To allow people to connect with you. To give to you what it is that you've been giving out. Which is very beautiful, okay? Very, very beautiful energy. We're going to get some confirmation on that. I don't want to do this reading in a way that is very structured. I want it to be just me. So sometimes I might clarify in the moment, sometimes I might not. Clarity on this energy. We've got the star. Look at that. We have the star. Oh my goodness. Healing. Look at this. And what I love about the star energy from this particular deck, hope you can see that. She is a girl. A sweet young girl. Her innocence. The colors, the turquoise. It's such a beautiful energy, such an innocent, healing energy that finds you in September. Sorry about that. I had to change positions. So yeah, such a beautiful, healing energy that finds you in September. It's nice. It's nice. What is it that we need to know about what's going on? Yeah, September is all about healing. It's allowing yourself to be happier, allowing yourself to connect with people, allowing yourself to be nurtured by people, Like I said, especially for those of you in romantic relationships, your friendships, whatever your relationships are, again, do not deviate from your path. What's going on is a new direction. It's aligning with the direction of where it is that you want to be in your life. What is it that you want for yourself? That's what it is about. Not steering away from the path of all that you have created, because you've put in a lot of work and a lot of energy toward manifesting the reality that you want for yourself. Consciously, subconsciously, the things that you've asked the divine for, your desires that you've been putting out. And September is beautiful because it shows you that it's possible in terms of this energy. And most of it for you guys has been nurturing, having people nurture you, being able to sit in this space of self-nurturing, nurturing others, and being able to also give that. And it's a beautiful time. It's all healing the parts in the past that were difficult. So let's go into October now. All right, so October has a very different energy. So October is about you having to have confidence within yourself, confidence and clarity of mind, because we see that you are dealing with insecurity in October. And a lot of it has to do with what's sitting in your shadow is upheaval in reverse. Okay, I want you to look at upheaval upright. It's upheaval in reverse that's in your shadow. And this leads me to believe that the issue here, upheaval, it's such an explosive energy. It can be very scary. But on a positive note, we want change, right? We want great change. We want things to happen that are so intense or so different that it can really change the state of what it is that we could possibly be dealing with, you know? And so if we find ourselves in a space where we're not necessarily getting that, when I look at this upheaval in reverse, and this is tied with not enough, right? So you're feeling very insecure, questioning yourself, and this is here with the Queen of Swords. Visions of life beyond death. Okay? So what's interesting about this energy is it has you in October and you're in a headspace. It has you in October and you're in a headspace of having to be very strategic and specific about what it is that you want to bring towards yourself. So it's interesting because we've got two queens. In September, we've got the Queen of Cups, and in October, we've got the Queen of Swords. So we see this feminine dominance in a way, like the feminine principle leading, you having to trust in your intuition, trust in these parts of your emotions and how your emotions dictate what it is that's going on. You're self-nurturing in September and then having to be very cutthroat and kind of cauterizing things in October. And a part of that is because of your own insecurities. You're dealing with a lot of insecurities and a lack of self-confidence. That's why your healing point is the card of cultivating self-confidence. I'm going to read this for you, but that's what it's about. That heals what's going on, because a lot of this Queen of Swords energy feels like self-criticism. You want to bring about great change in your life. You want to be able to do something, which explains a lot, because if we're sitting in September in a much more passionate, almost like romantic energy, you walk into October and whatever enthusiasm that you gained previously, you want to really make things happen for yourself in October, but you feel like you don't have what it takes to see that change, to see those that big leap come into fruition. And it's causing you to be very self-critical, very kind of cutthroat. We've got the Judgment sitting here in terms of clarity for October. So again, more air energy, more about what's going on in the mind. And this stuff that's going on in the mind in terms of decisions, decision making, how you're clarifying yourself and the way you're thinking about things. Oh, sorry. But yeah, how you're clarifying yourself and the way that you're thinking about things. It's like you're having to have discernment. Clearly, I wouldn't say that it seems like you're making a whole lot of decisions, but it's more like you're having to be very clear on yourself and what it is that you will do. Whatever approach that you have, and it could also be that what it is that you need to finish a project, to see through a project, because this is a part of yourself that you really want to bring into fruition. Which, when we look at October, there are no surprises because we're going from Libra energy into Scorpionic energy. And a lot of the transits that are happening around that time, along with this Pluto retrograde and the Saturn retrograde, a lot of you are going to be very focused on creating the life that you want for yourself. Well, all of you are going to be focused on that, but it's just a matter of how. It could be love, it could be family, it could be career, right? And we've got a ward at the bottom of the deck. It could be love, family, career. But nonetheless, what's going on in this case, we see a ward, right? Which is all about receiving. You will receive a long-deserved fame and awards. Keep moving forward. That's the thing here. You've put in a lot of work and you want to receive the recognition for what it is that you will do, but you're lacking self-confidence. And many of you guys can be struggling with self-sabotage because you're afraid that this great change that you desire is not going to come into fruition. A lot of self-judgment, judging yourself. Visions of life beyond death, as if some kind of experience requires you to see yourself beyond maybe what is it that you have lost, or the ways in which you feel like you're not fully showing up for yourself. It's like you need to see yourself in a light that's better than what it is that you once were. There's a lot of self-criticism happening here in October. And it's mainly because you're doing something that you are passionate about, that you really want to see flourish. And then it's causing you to kind of break yourself down. It's earth energy, okay? This energy here in terms of your healing point, which is a grounding energy. In order to ground yourself in October, because you're struggling with self-grounding, you need to go into this headspace. Cultivate confidence in yourself. You have the inner spiritual power to deal wisely and effectively with any situation. Don't allow anyone to take advantage of your kind nature. A lot of you guys as well, during October, there's other people that are also causing this self-criticism. You could be dealing with the people from the past. You could be dealing with, either way, it's karma from the past. But it can show up in terms of people. It can show up in terms of old family. It can show up in terms of old friends, people wanting to kind of take you down or bring you down a notch. It could also show up in terms of social media. But either way, there are things challenging you on the outside that say to you that you're not good enough as you are, and then it puts you into this self-critical space. But in order to ground, you have to understand, don't allow anyone to take advantage of your kind nature. Some of you can lose something as well. Something can be taken from you as well. Reflect upon what actions feel best for you to take, and then follow through with decisiveness. More confirmation on decisiveness. Okay, so this is an earth energy, but it's an earth energy because we're looking at the bird here. That is about clarity of mind, precision. Queen of Swords, judgment, precision, clear thought. Do not allow negativity to get a grip on your life. Positive energy and outcomes are indicated. Yeah, visions of life beyond death. Whatever you lose, understand that you can have more on the other side. There's more to be found on the other side. And this, frankly, this energy might hit you heavy, mainly because the month prior, you're in a much more lighthearted space. So as you sit in the month of October and you're focused on your accolades and getting what it is that is long deserved, there could be some people that are challenging that, unhappy about it, but really they're just reflecting your internal dialogue back to you on the outside. So yeah. So as you focus on trying to get what it is that you feel like you deserve, or what is awarded to you, we're dealing with this sense of a lack of confidence, a lack of discernment. You need to be discerning about who it is that you are, and that you do deserve what it is that is being given to you. You do deserve to be able to go through this change. You fear that you cannot get this big thing that you desire, but you can. Long-deserved awards are here to find you. You just have to be confident. You have to use this decisiveness in order to understand that it's really just a battle with you and the smaller parts of you. Whatever you lose, you were meant to lose in order to bring you to where it is that you need to go. Whatever hit you take, think of it as a boost. Okay? So when we go into November. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Life is such a beautiful, beautiful story. All right. So, wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So, in natural fashion, as you sit here and you challenge and you feel the weight of your insecurities, and if you can accomplish what it is that you want, and if you deserve it. And again, this can show up in other people doing this to you as well. November comes in beautifully. Okay, we've got the 10 of Cups gorgeously sitting here in November. And you guys know how I feel about the 10 of Cups. We've got going beyond normal in terms of your advice. Okay, Aquarian energy for me. Your healing point is about understanding that you are a person of notoriety. Remember those accolades that we were talking about? The things that you were worried that you don't deserve in October? When you're sitting in November, it's understanding that you deserve this throne, especially for those of you who are on social media. You deserve this attention. You deserve this throne. You deserve the praise that you're getting. You deserve it. To be seen, to be loved, to be liked, to be this happy. Oh my goodness. We've also got wedding rings here. And so in your shadow, we've got the Elder in reverse. So right off the bat, some of you can find yourselves getting married during this time, going through serious commitments, and, just being nervous about it, being worried about it. And the kind of relationship that you have is one that all eyes are on. There's something about the kind of union that, if that's what's going on with you, there's something about your union with your partner that is something that a lot of people pay attention to. A lot of people, sorry about that. Okay. A lot of people pay attention to, a lot of people watch, a lot of people may be envious of. This is the kind of energy that finds you there. And this is so beautiful because this is when Pluto leaves your sign. So when you're looking at October, you see that harsh moment of that pressurized experience. We begin in September when Pluto says hello. In October, Pluto challenges you to push past your insecurities, to know who it is that you are, to understand that you deserve what it is that you want. And you cannot do it from a space of insecurity. You have to have discernment and judgment. And when you get through that, you sit beautifully in November. Oh my goodness. As we said, the transformation of Scorpionic season, it's showing you to do things differently. The funny thing about the relationship between Scorpio and Aquarius is they're both fixed elements. And the four fixed signs, just like all the others, have a relationship to each other. Scorpio is to Aquarius, that Leo is to Taurus. And what do I mean by that? A lot of the times Scorpios, like Scorpio dominants, can find themselves in relationships with Aquarian dominants. And it's because they have a same but different kind of energy. Both, the air and water elements, while the fire and earth elements usually have some kind of relationship. The fire and air, earth, are kind of like the dominators, right? And the water, the dominators of their side, right? Earth is the dominator of yin, and fire is usually the dominator of yang. And the more passive version of yang energy is air, and the more passive version of of feminine energy is water. So when you look at the way in which Scorpio and Aquarius tend to find each other, it is because their lives are about similar things, being different, going against the grain, being people who live a life where they came from, or their beginnings. Their goal in life is to go far beyond that, to find their own experience, to carve their own path in that sense. So they often find each other. They often find themselves attracted to and drawn to each other. So when we see this beautiful Aquarian energy happening in Scorpio season, I love it because it's telling you to go beyond normal and to do things differently, to align with Aquarian energy is one that tends to make Scorpio feel very liberated, although challenged often. And then we have this beautiful water energy that is sitting in a time, well, I mean, November is dominated by Scorpio before it gets to Sagittarius. So we see this beautiful water energy that dominates a month mostly dedicated to water. So it's very satisfying. A lot of cups here, the 10 cups, very satisfying energy, especially when we look at wedding rings. We're talking about long-lasting promises, soul connections. You are obviously in a space where you have to allow your confidence that you had to go through building during October to navigate you in terms of doing something different. Being just genuinely happy can be something that is different for you guys. Again, it can be something that challenges you, you know? Yeah, allowing yourself to be happy can be something that challenges you guys sometimes. You're afraid of not getting the commitments that you want, not being able to see through the satisfaction that you desire, but you don't have anything to desire here. November is gorgeous. It is beautiful. I'm going to read this card for you in terms of your healing point. And it's an air energy, more air. A way through the struggle has already been created for you, and you are being led onto that path. Your authentic soul path may include recognition and acclaim, notable success and admiration. Be grateful, but do not be dazzled or distracted by such experiences. Focus on what connects you to your heart and grounds you in the simplicity of spiritual truth, which is the practice of love, kindness, and peace. This will allow for successful progress in the material world without disturbing the sanctity of your soul. Beautiful. Okay, very, very beautiful energy. Sorry for all the noise. Okay. Yes, beautiful. Very, very beautiful energy. I love this. You find bliss in September. You find yourself in October, which is why you're challenging that, what it is that you want to create. You create it by November, and it's just about allowing yourself to be happy. And we also see the 10 cups here and not the 10 of pentacles. All right. So we go back into the same lesson you learned at the beginning of the year of understanding it doesn't have to be perfect in order for you to be happy. It does not have to be perfect in order for you to be happy. Let people love you. Let people like you. Like this, November is a big time, especially for career, right? Like what's going on with your career? Or again, if you're getting married or if you're in a very serious partnership, part of serious connection, there's a lot of big movements happening when it comes to that and showing the world who it is that you are, what it is that you've done for yourself. You're ending your Pluto retrograde really shining and wanting people to see the ways in which you shine. We've got wrong decisions. Reckless behavior can lead to bad consequences. Think before you act. That's quite interesting as we look at what's going on in terms of the energy. And I think, again, this for you guys, it goes back into that space of doing something different requires you to be more positive in your approach instead of negative. And there can be some ego issues here because of how happy you will be and how blissful you're feeling. Again, big in terms of marriage or signing big contracts that are going to make you very happy or going viral, you know, notoriety. Wow. Okay. And then we see going into December, we got the 9 of Pentacles. God, that's beautiful. Yeah, so after you leave your Pluto retrograde and you're showing the world who it is that you are and how happy you are, the word wants to be written. Tell people your story. There's a lot of stability that happens in the month of December, and you realize your options too. We've got many options, keys on the ring. The energy has transitioned itself. In your shadow, we've got the 8 of Pentacles. Interesting. We've got the 8 of Pentacles in your shadow, and the 9 of Pentacles is the subject for what's going on in terms of the month. Let's get clarity on November and December. So when we look at what's happening in December, again, it's a lot of stability. You're very stable. You're very comfortable. You're very good in your own skin, good in your own energy. You did it. That's like the biggest thing. It's like you end the year feeling like, I did it. Everything that you set out to do, you accomplished it. And you see the fact that there are things that are available to you that you did not see before. There are situations and circumstances that are available to you now that you did not see before. Because of your stability, which it seems has been shaken at numerous times, especially throughout the year, your eyes are more open. Your energy is more open than it's been. Yeah, because what we've got in terms of December, in terms of clarity, we've got the Queen of Swords. And so again, it goes back into the space of discernment. You're aware of where your opportunities are. And for some of you, you just could want to communicate more. Again, if you're a public figure in any kind of way, you might want to find yourself wanting to tell your story about how your year has been or how difficult it's been or what it is that you have gone through. But the level of stability that you have has you in a space where you want to share. In your shadow, it can be, as we look at the Eight of Pentacles, it's just that feeling of, am I really stable? Do I have to work harder? Is there more that I have to do? But it's nothing to worry about because you're sitting in the Nine of Pentacles. You've done it. See your options. Have discernment in terms of being able to see the clarity of your mind. This is another air energy. So for all of your healing points for the remainder of the year, we've got air, earth, air, earth. Oh, sorry, air. So air, earth, air, air. So it's a lot of things tied to clarity, groundedness, clarity, grounded. And even the kind of air, the kind of earth card that we have is about clarity of the mind. It is rooted in air energy because it has the bird there. It is about understanding how to be decisive and clear-minded. So when it comes to December, there's a gentler way to proceed and obtain the same or even greater effect. Tame the wild and frenzied workings of the mind by grounding yourself with beauty, pleasure, and grace. Violence and its negative effects shall be overcome and healed through feminine gentleness and inner spiritual strength. This oracle is a sign of great future happiness. So what's so interesting about this is we see here the word wants to be written, and this is sitting with tears coming down her face. And we see you sitting in the Nine of Pentacles in terms of security and stableness. You're ending the year in a space that is very emotional, which is interesting. And a lot of this feels like it's what's going on in your own head. It's almost like, what is it that you're going to do next? What do you have to do? Where do you have to go? What work do you have to put in? What has to happen next? You're stable, but it's more like you're understanding that you're stable. It's like you have to understand that you made it. Having to root yourself in that. A lot of the work is over, but can you handle that? Can you see the opportunities that are around you? Can you sit with that for a while and let that be? When we go back to November, we had the Five of Wands and the clarity. And I don't want you to be afraid of this Five of Wands. The Five of Wands in November, it's more of a sparring match in terms of, again, being able to create what it is that you want for yourself. Know your worth. Know your worth in November. You deserve it. You deserve to shine. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to show off. Do it. Do it because you can. Compete a little. Press the gas, Because you find yourself in December looking for discerning eyes. It's a beautiful energy because it's about understanding gentility. Oh, and again, in December, we've got more going on with awards. Yeah, it's like you have to understand that you can just experience bliss, that you can be okay, that it happened. The chapter is over. The chapter is closed. Are you comfortable? It's almost like a really rested energy. Like, again, if you're partnered or whatever it is that's going on, you're going to find yourself wanting to be very introspective and probably very much alone during this time in December to kind of make sense of yourself and what it is that you have just gone through. Kind of looking back on the year and understanding who it is that you are and all the options that are laid out in front of you, what it is that you can do with them. because you're worried about how much work you have to put in, what it is that you have to do next. But it requires you to have discernment. As you're thinking about these things, again, there's a gentler way to proceed. It doesn't have to be so hardcore. At the bottom of the deck, like I said, so the theme for this time period is the Sun with the 8 of Wands. All right. So the theme for September to December is understanding how to have the illumination of joy and bliss, and to move with enthusiasm toward this healing. For this time around, this Sun for you is healing. It's about healing through changing the way that you think. So you're going from a space, and we see this in terms of your story, going from a space of having, even starting in September, the healing that happens here with the star, you're coming, which is the opposite of the Sun, but it's going into the space of understanding, wow, all of these people really do care about you, or this person, or this love. You feel this love, you're being nurtured. It's about understanding that. So you go from that space into a space of questioning that, right? Like kind of, this insecurity, this, and it for some of you, it could just be because of this energy, almost feeling like the ball's going to drop. But mostly it's because you're creating something new and you're trying to go through a big change. You want to see a big change take place in your life. And whatever patience that you have to practice, or whatever it is that's going on, it requires you to really do the work yourself and be confident in being able to get what it is that you want, and pushing through the storm in that way. And then you see yourself in November feeling very, very good and being able to have this energy come into fruition. Some of you can be dealing with legal matters as well. And again, the worry tied to how something will pan out or go in October. And then you're in a space where you realize that you have to allow happiness to be, or you can get what it is that you want in a much more seamless way in November. And then you end in December understanding gentility. And that in order to move forward, you are stable now. You did it. You're okay. You can breathe. But do you know that you can breathe? Do you understand that? And what was at the bottom of the deck here in terms of our clarity cards was not today. Boundaries, still angry. This is no surprise to me here, because as you chase the Sun, a part of how you do not repeat the past is a strong sense of boundaries. A lot of what you're doing here is creating boundaries, is being more discerning about what it is that you will deal with and tolerate, because you have more clarity on yourself. As you go through this journey, you're building walls around yourself that push out the things that you no longer desire. And in a way, your anger can help you be a driving force between saying, I will not tolerate what it is that I had in the past. And these are the steps that I'm going to take in order to do so. At the bottom of the shadow deck here, we have Akamara. So again, cycles closing, the world moving forward. Can my world change? Can these cycles end? Can I see through what it is that I desire? Sitting in the shadow. At the advice, your overarching advice, beautiful, diving for light. And this is great because it aligns perfectly with what's going on with the Sun and that 8 of Wands. Dive for light with enthusiasm. Do it with passion, fortitude, and enthusiasm. And at the bottom of your healing point here, we have telepathy of Taramara. And I'm going to read this one for you. Remember, these are the overarching themes that are pulling you through this time period. This is a water energy. So healing, okay? Healing, healing, healing. Illumination of light, healing. Diving for light, healing. Setting boundaries because you are healing. The pathway for your spiritual fulfillment and the sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. The skillful and unpredictable workings of Earth Mother are supporting your soul journey unconditionally, following up on inspired ideas and allowing for unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul's purpose. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart. Even if it seems improbable or unattainable, it will manifest successfully. That's what this whole journey is about. You are understanding who it is that you are, what it is that you deserve. And for many of you, like I said, it can be forming a relationship that is karmic, as in it's karmic in a good way, the kind of love relationship that's transformational, that transforms who you are, your life, what your life is like, your love karma, your family, the way people relate to you, partner, and you build the kind of union that is so strong that it literally transforms the way that other people take you in, and doing what it is that you need to do in order to bring that into fruition and allowing that healing to take place. But again, it's not evolving logically, it's evolving organically. This transition of the sun, this illumination of the sun, this is a beautiful energy. We've got the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Nine of Pentacles. This is beautiful energy, okay? You're finishing off the year in a beautiful space.